Hello, everyone. I am Brianna Rossa, the Office and Events Coordinator at the Small Business Center, and welcome to the third webinar in our webinar series, Tourism Business Tuneup on the Road to Recovery. And today's topic is fostering strategic alliances. I just want to remind everyone to please, if you have any questions, please use the chat box below. And also, if you can keep your mute on, so essentially keep it so you're not recording your voice. And again, same goes for our speakers as well today. So our panelists, if you're not chatting, if you could just put yourself on mute, just so we don't have any background noise. Okay, and I'm just going to hand this off now to Trevor.
Thanks, Brianna. Welcome, everybody. We put a nice little discussion panel for you today together to chat about a couple things. Mainly how to leverage your industry partners, how to build some strategic partnerships that will help your business, and sort of take a look at how to put those together, but also what they mean in a larger context, and sort of the ramifications or the sort of ripple effect from putting together some great strategic alliances. And then also we'd love to cover, we're going to try and cover how to build a strong staycation trail. And by that sort of mean that, we wanted this seminar to be current as well, obviously, and we're dealing with, still dealing with some challenges and into the fall and then maybe into next year. And, obviously travel's changed a little bit. People are starting to travel more hyper local and closer to their where they live. And we've obviously, if summer's any indication, we've become quite a destination spot for visitors all around Ontario, and I think that'll continue. And how to capitalize on that. So I'll introduce myself. Actually, I'm Trevor Norris from the Bay of Quinte Regional Marketing Board. I'm the Business Development Manager for BOQ RMB. If I say that, the BOQ RMB, it's just to shorten the big long name of our organization. But we're BOQ RMB has a mandate to do marketing on behalf of the partnership that we currently have, which is 3 municipalities and a First Nation. So Brighton, the City of Quinte West, Belleville, and Mohawks to the Bay of Quinte. We also have 2 public partners as well, our Quinte Home Builders and Quinte Restaurant Association. So supporting small businesses is actually a really important thing we do, and this is a great example of that. And that's why we've actually created this strategic alliance with our good friends at the Small Business Center to be able to capitalize on their skill set to put together a great webinar series such as this Tuneup, Tourism Business Tuneup for the fall for all of you. Quickly, we offer a bunch of products and tools that to help promote the region from a marketing perspective. So annually we print, we have some print collateral. We do a Bay of Quinte discovery guide, as well as a Bay of Quinte discovery map, which you may have seen with the little fun icons on it. We also have parlayed those into some digital products, which is our BOQ TV, Bay of Quinte TV. Those are standalone TVs in all the hotels and the Quinte Mall and the Quinte Sport and Wellness Center to sort of access the high traffic areas where tourists and visitors come in, to be able to show them some programming, it shows assets, what we have going on in the business or in the region, but also highlighting things like the downtown. We could Marijo to put some slides together and videos together. We use their videos on there to highlight what they're doing downtown, and as well as some individual businesses as well. We have 40,000 followers on our social media across Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest. Our communications coordinator, Courtney Klumper, handles all that. And she also handles a weekly tourism newsletter and bi-weekly industry newsletter. So if you want to stay in touch with us and hear what's going on and get some regular help, we have those newsletters. Me personally, as business development manager, mainly, I look after experiential new product development support in concert with our municipal partners. So they do a lot of product development, coming up with new tourism ideas. If businesses have new tourism ideas, we're there. I'm there as a support mechanism, as is our organization. I take care of travel trade. So that's travel agents booking and the industry booking trips to the region, and I also take care of fam tours. So people coming to the region to see our area for the first time, whether it be a travel agent or some other sort of travel related, you know, business that's going to send visitors our way. So I take them around and show them the area. I do sports tourism, which is less applicable to this sort of seminar, getting sports tournaments into the region, managing, like I said, BOQ TV, and our interactive kiosks in the hotels, and our online digital discovery map, which you can sort of explore. And then things like I run the logistics around things like our local staycation sweepstakes, which we just campaign, which we've had for the summer and into the fall. So putting that all together and doing things like that. So I really love working with small businesses and helping them figure out ways to, either grow their businesses, or they're coming up with some challenges, figuring out a way to do that. And more importantly, I think very applicable to this is helping them find businesses they can cross pollinate with and create partnerships with, so that both businesses can grow their products or their sort of scope of their business. So that's, in a nutshell what I do, and I'll kind of go into some other we can go into some other details later. But I wanted to also introduce our panel, and thank you all for being here. First up, I'd just like to introduce Marijo Cuerrier. Is it Cuerrier?
It is.
Okay, good. I look at it and I'm always scared to get the pronunciation. So Marijo Cuerrier is the Media and Communications Coordinator for the BDIA in downtown Belleville, and has been doing an amazing job. We love working with her down there. And I just want to hand it over to her to give a little bit of a description of what she does in her role for the BDIA.
So I'm actually the executive director.
Sorry, executive director. Sorry
That's
about
okay.
that.
That's okay. We have a media and communications coordinator, and her title actually is media and marketing officer, and that's Kelsey
I had the
Moniz.
wrong email up. Sorry, Marijo.
That's okay. So I'm the executive director of the Belleville Downtown District BIA, and I've been here for about 2 years. The BIA, for those that don't know what it is, it's an umbrella organization over the entire downtown, which is mapped out in a very specific geographic area in cities and towns all over Canada. There's about 230 BIAs across Ontario, so we're one of many. We belong to an organization called OBIA, which is Ontario Business Improvement Area Association, and they are our umbrella organization. So we work with the members that we have downtown, and a member is simply someone who either owns a property or a business in our geographic area. So we work with them to create a space here that is healthy for them to succeed. For myself, my background is in marketing. I've been in marketing for about 20 years, and the biggest sort of swath of my career was at St. Anne's Spa, which I helped grow from a small country inn to an Ontario destination. And I would say my strength really is an execution of vision and working with entrepreneurs. I did have my own company just for the segue from moving out of St. Anne's and into this position for about 6 years in this area, helping small to medium-sized businesses with their marketing. So I love working with entrepreneurs, which was a good fit for this job as well, because I'm often working with the owners of the businesses in the downtown. I think it's really important to have strategic alliances in order to engage fully in the community. And when I came to the downtown, the community was a little bit fractured. So I had a little bit of work to do. And I would say that we are well on our way to that repair work. I look at my job as a three-way street. We work with the BIA members, strategically aligned. We work with the BIA, with the government, the municipality here, as well as higher levels of government, but specifically with the municipality. And then we work with local tourism organizations like where Trevor is, and other business assistance organizations like the Small Business Center and Chamber of Commerce. The last couple of years really has been focused on repairing and gaining confidence of the majority of our members, and working to develop a wider reach of getting to know our local government and other organizations, not only the leaders of the organizations like the mayor and councillors, but also the doers, the people who are on the street making, the staff members making things happen. I have a real passion for building community, and that goes from the person on the street all the way up to the, to federal government, really. Although I don't have a political bone in my body. And for us, one of our biggest challenges is trying to tell a new story of the downtown. So basically rewriting history and helping others at all levels experience something fresh and inviting down here. And that goes again from community members all the way to politicians. So yeah, that's some of that I'll be talking about later.
That's great. Thank you. And yeah, we, the things you've done downtown are just incredibly so remarkable, and it's a true testament, especially during these times, that how the vibrancy has come back. It's always kind of been there in underground, but you've been able to really showcase that, and so it's such a pleasure working with you on all your initiatives for downtown. So it's great. Thanks for that. Next, I'd like to introduce Hannah Brown. She's the Community Engagement Officer. I hope I got that right. Or messed up one very important title this morning. Sorry, Marijo. For the City of Quinte West, and so worked with Hannah actually quite a bit in many different roles when she in many different past lives, but now since she's the new Community Engagement Officer for City of her new role, has got her doing quite a bit of stuff for the big picture and tourism, and for just businesses in general. So Hannah, just talk about a little bit, introduce yourself obviously, but you can talk a bit about what more you do there.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been with the City of Quinte West for the last 3 years as the Community Engagement Officer. And before that, I worked for a tourism operator, Badawa Ski Hill, for 2 years prior to that. So I am very much invested in the health of the tourism industry in the area. And while my role has a lot of day-to-day municipal communications and getting out basic information, a big part of what I do is support departments in their goals. And obviously a big goal for the City of Quinte West is making sure that we remain a viable tourist destination for people looking to come to the area. So I'm often working with our tourism coordinator, Jennifer Rushlow, to support her online campaigns, give advice on design. Since in my past life I was a graphic designer, support creation of ads, and from my work here and my work in Badawa, I know the importance of creating strategic alliances with other local organizations, other local businesses, and how that can really leverage the products that you can offer within the community for vacations and staycations, fun activities for people to do. So I'm happy to be here today.
Well, thank you. And it's great to work with you in this capacity too. It's been neat seeing all the things you do, bring all that experience to Quinte West has been great. And last but not least, our good friend Sheryl Delorme out in Brighton. Sheryl is the owner of Special Effects Lifestyle Boutique, which has quite a few components to it, and that's why we really wanted to have her part of this. She's done quite a bit of work as a champion for tourism for Brighton and for the region, and we love working with her because she's always got so much enthusiasm and and great vision for what her own business, but Brighton in general, what it could be and where it's headed. So welcome, Sheryl. Thanks for being here,
Thank
and
you for having me.
give a bit of a breakdown as to all the things, the wonderful things you do over there in Brighton.
First of all, thank you, Trevor, for including me in this. And I just want to say to Marijo, you're doing a fantastic job in downtown Belleville. I've been following you, and I've been working with Lisa Kuipers from the Trenton DBIA. And we actually originally started out in Belleville, and then we left Belleville to come to Brighton. But I've been watching you very, very closely, and you were in Ignite with me and Trevor. And I just want to say, I wish I could clone you, and I wish I could bring you to Brighton. We need somebody with your enthusiasm here. We really do. I'm the owner, along with my husband, Jason, of Special Effects Lifestyle Boutique. We've been in Brighton now we just celebrated our 7-year anniversary on Saturday, which was really nice. We have a couple different facets to our business. And when we first started out, we kind of labeled ourselves as a decorating store, but we've kind of evolved from that. In that we have a design studio, because I do design work for clients. We also house a commercial kitchen in our location here in Brighton. We have a gourmet market, and we have ladies' clothing, fashion, and accessories. We do lots of events, to try to put ourselves ahead on social media. We're tapping into a lot of different things. We're currently in the process of creating an Airbnb. It has always been our intention to be seen as a destination point, and community is very, very important to both Jason and I. And we do everything that we can to help support local and to help support our community. I'm not going to lie, COVID it's literally kicked us in the what. And it's been difficult to try to stay ahead of the game, but we stay positive, and we put one foot in front of the other. And with, help with people like Trevor and Bay of Quinte Tourism, they've been like right there with us. And we can't thank you enough for that. They've given us a lot of opportunities to advance ourselves, especially Trevor, when we wanted to rebrand from just the decorating to the lifestyle boutique. They were able to help us out with that. So for that, we thank you. Working with Lisa from Trenton DBIA has been a godsend also in helping us achieve a couple of different things that we've tried to achieve here in downtown Brighton, one being grants from the Digital Main Street. So we've been able to capitalize on that, and working closely with people that we have reached out to and contacted in regards to including them in our little bubble here that we have in downtown Brighton. So it's been an experience to date. That's all I can say. And yeah, we just keep putting one foot in front of the other, and hopefully working with you guys will help propel us forward in downtown Brighton. So thank you for having me.
Oh, we're very happy to have you. And I know it's a bit of a tough go, but I think you're a great example of a business that's been able to think outside the box a little bit, quickly do some pivots that have made a lot of businesses that are successful or have been successful getting through these tough times. You've done quite a few of that, but so we really appreciate the efforts that you're making to keep your business in downtown Belleville vibrant and attractive to
Downtown Brighton.
the staycationers. It's tough, and I think this is a good example to be able to maybe talk about some of those things down the road. So and you brought up the DBIA in Quinte West, and also we should probably talk about the Chamber of Commerce. So there's a few other organizations that obviously aren't on this panel that as a business owner, sometimes your head's in the sand and you're working really hard towards your goal of just keeping your business open and staffed, and moving forward. That sometimes you don't realize some of the resources that are available to you, and a lot of these resources are right there. And here's a great example of a panel of a bunch of us who and I wanted to get us together to sort of talk about some of the things we do that businesses may not know. And I answer that question on a daily, mostly weekly basis. Businesses calling wondering what we do. And it's a big, obviously it's sometimes you just don't have time to research that. So I kind of wanted to start the panel discussion now, now that we've all introduced ourselves. Actually, sorry, I wanted to bring one more person, a very important person, Brianna, from the Small Business Center. Brianna, you're obviously really, Brianna Rossett, sorry. She's the Office and Events Coordinator for Small Business Center, and she puts on all these great workshops. And has been great working with me and us at the Bay of Quinte Regional Marketing Board and putting these workshop series together, and we hope to do more. But Brianna, if you want to just give a quick rundown of some of the things you do, you're a very important resource that we would love, that I know quite a few businesses have worked with and used a lot of your resources to help their businesses in many different facets. So just take it away and tell us a little bit about yourself. We'd love to have you. We're happy to have you on the panel and not just, running the logistics behind the scenes. So welcome and thanks for being a part of it.
Thanks for having me, Trevor. And thanks again for helping putting this idea together for this webinar series. Definitely have looked forward to it. It's a new challenge. Always love new challenges. So I'll give you a little bit of information about the Small Business Center and what we offer. We are essentially a resource for all businesses within our area that we cover is Belleville, Quinte West, Hastings County, Lennox and Addington, and Prince Edward County. So that is a very extremely large area. So we kind of use our partners to essentially help us with specifics. If we have someone that's in Bancroft, sometimes we refer to people in Bancroft because there's only so much that we can do. But now that everything's kind of came down to webinars and Zoom calls, we were able to actually kind of help them face to face without actually being face to face. So we are one of 52 small business centers here in Ontario. So throughout Ontario, there's a bunch of us, and we all offer the same. We all offer the same programs. It kind of varies different between each area because we all have different demographics and different types of businesses within each area. Between here from Belleville to all the way in Kingston, it's completely different. So we also offer several grants. We'll chat about this a little bit later, but it's this Starter Company Plus. And then we also have the Summer Company. And then there's another grant that I have taken on. It's called the Enabling Accessibility Fund. So it's $10,000 to make your business more accessible. So I can chat about that later. We also offer free business counseling. So you can essentially you can come in to our office. We do offer in-person business counseling, as well as over the phone or again through a Zoom meeting. So this is all free. We always have great resources. Essentially, if you come in with a question or you want to know more information to look for grants, we have a resource that's available for you, or we can send you some links for you to do your own research. Again, if we don't know the answer, we know a lot of people that we can either send you towards them, or we can put you in contact, or we can all have a meeting together. So essentially, if we don't know the answer, we know somebody who does. That's why we in touch with Trevor here, Quinte West, like the City of Quinte West, the City of Belleville, Prince Edward County. Essentially, we're all in contact with each other and we're all chatting with each other all the time. So that's the one great thing about the small business centers. We're in contact with a lot of people on a regular basis. Also, too, we put on weekly webinars such as this one, and as well as events. Most of you know, if you don't know it already, our International Women's Day last year, actually it's not last year, it was 2019. We had over 100 people attend. That's just some of the stuff that we put on here at the Small Business Center. We even broke fire code. But yeah, that's a little bit of the Small Business Center and what we offer.
Excellent. Yeah, I know, from our end, we've just sort of, we've been around for quite a while as well, but really getting a handle of what you do for businesses helps us add to our suite of things that, in our network. And I think you really hit the nail on the head with, I think everybody on the panel here, um, you know, not to speak on your behalf, would agree that, access to the networks that we all have of people and businesses is such an important component to leveraging your tourism industry partners. And I think, sort of starting the panel discussion, I wanted to sort of talk about things that businesses can access for free. So obviously, being in a business, you're paying for your insurance and staff and benefits and all these other things, and obviously your rent and all these costs. Sometimes you think everything in the world has a cost to it, and fortunately, being in our wonderful region and having all these tourism support organizations around you, that you may or may not know about, or may know about, but think that there's a lot of pay to play or costs involved. That there are quite a bit of stuff, quite a bit of things and initiatives that we do that are free. And so I kind of want to just quickly chat about that, because that's always a bit of a shocking conversation when I sit down with businesses, knowing that they can have access to a lot of this marketing power and expertise to help their businesses, and it doesn't cost them a cent. And so, kind of from my side, I think one of the most exciting things that I get to do is, when a business calls and asks, how we can help them. And so, one of the first things we do at Bay of Quinte Regional Barking Board is set up a meeting so that they can come in and just have a chat, and we tell them obviously what we do and all the things we can help them with. But really, we're there to kind of really listen and find out, what their business is about, how they what they want to do, who they want to sort of maybe partner with, and from our perspective, we know most of, if not all, the businesses in the region. So quickly we can really see who can help them, quickly, and who maybe down the future would be a good fit for them to work with. And also, just things like, helping with just the general optics of their business. Cheryl mentioned it, but she's been in for a few meetings, and we kind of have this really nice open door policy of businesses being able to come in and access, our brand manager, Jenna Keeley's, and sit down. Cheryl really wanted to, she kind of hit a bit of a crossroads and really wanted to consolidate a lot of her business. And she came up with obviously the end solution, but at least we were there as a sounding board to, for her to bounce things off. And so that's one of the big things, access just to us, and our expertise with 4 staff, to be able to either ask questions about what other businesses are doing in the region. So either for us to give them a benchmark as to, where other businesses are at their sort of life cycle, which is always nice for a business to be able to hear about other, where other people are at, so they can sort of gauge where they're at and where they need to go. But also, maybe think of things that they hadn't thought about because they're so busy running their business that, we're really there to sort of, whiteboard a few and brainstorm a few ideas for them to kind of potentially work on, just to add to their business and add a different dimension to their business. So I kind of want to open it up, and I think I'll kind of give this over to Marijo, if you want to just chat. I mean, the wonderful thing about the BDIA is that you guys are this incredible aggregate, and what it's like being a singular business trying to get anything done, from a municipal level. But when you're with an organization like the BDIA down in downtown Belleville, as a group, you have this strength in numbers. And it's so wonderful to see you and your organization lobby on behalf of businesses to the city to get some of the incredible initiatives that you've done, such as your downtown at dusk and the al fresco campaign, that sort of thing. So I just wanted to sort of, obviously there's a paid component to being part of the BDIA, being downtown, but you also, as part of that, just wanted to sort of see, ask you, or you to put forth some of the things maybe that, those value adds that come with being able to access yourself and your organization.
Well, I think you made a really good point. Free is not often not free for us. There's a levy that is, so the property owners here that own buildings have a levy that is on their property tax, and that's where our budget comes from. So it's a secured budget, which is great because it means we don't have to spend time fundraising and things like that. But we do actually do a lot of grant processing. So this year we were able to increase our budget to just over 100,000 with grant money. So that's great. So that's one of the sort of side effects of being with the BIA, is that we're constantly looking for grant opportunities, not only for ourselves as an organization, so we continue to grow and build things like al fresco and downtown at dusk, things like that, but also we're looking for grants and opportunities for our members. So while our members are busy running their businesses, we're out there sort of combing the streets for those kind of opportunities. The current BIA staff is a marketing first staff, which is a term that I use. We look at everything as marketing first. We're both marketing professionals with years of experience in different areas. So that's something that we offer to our clients. It's not always like that for BIAs. It really depends on who's running the ship, but that's something that we, for the last couple of years, have been really, I guess, advertising for our clients, or not our clients, our members. We also are responsible for telling a story to a wider audience. So we've got 200 members here, and we've got about a third of those are customer service oriented, and then the rest are maybe a bit more than a third, and then the others are more B2B. So we're always trying to tell that lifestyle story of downtown that touches all of those businesses, so that that becomes a magnet. People want to be downtown, they want to be involved, they want to be seen, and we're starting to see some traction there. Obviously we run events, and we're trying to make those as, I guess, as automatic as possible. In the past, events used to be you'd put a lot of energy into one day and bring a whole bunch of people down here. Well, COVID sort of made us rethink that, but in a way it's been a good side effect, because now we are starting to run events that run over a longer period of time. Therefore, there's more people down here on a regular basis. Our pedestrian counts have gone way up from last year, so that's been a good thing. I think the other really valuable thing that some of our members don't fully understand until they use it is the direct and more personal relationship with leaders in the community. So other organizations like the Bay of Quinte Regional Tourism Marketing Board, or that big long name you guys have, the chamber, the counselors, the people that work for the city, counselors, things like that, because we are in committee meetings with these people and we work with them all the time. And I consider a big part of my coming into the BIA was repairing those relationships and making it so that, you would have a coffee or a drink with any of those number of people. And that makes it a little bit more natural to identify and start working collaboratively with those people for our members. There's lots of collaborative marketing opportunities in print that normally wouldn't be affordable for our members. Digital Main Street program, because we are downtown, it's unique to us. Government funding opportunities that flow down into all downtown businesses. So things like RTO9 and RED funding, which we can talk about if you want to. And then advocacy on their behalf. So I'm just advocating right now for a manhole cover to be fixed, So, just constantly hammering back to the staff at City Hall saying, this is a problem and here's why, because someone's going to get killed, just like those kind of things. So that's those are some of the free advantages of being a part of the BIA.
Yeah, and I know we say free. I mean, they already paid their levy because they're downtown. So to not take advantage of all the things that they already get for what they're paying already, would be unfortunate. And my just one last little question to you is, for some of the downtown Belleville businesses that don't or haven't, sort of really utilized some of the things you do, how best can they sort of get into the stream of all those great things that you do. Obviously I know you do a great job at going around and visiting businesses, but for the businesses that, maybe are coming in or looking for space downtown Belleville and didn't realize that they'd have this great support resource and mechanism downtown. I mean, that for me, if I was looking for to put a business downtown and I knew that you existed, I'd feel a heck of a lot better about choosing space in downtown Belleville, to know that I'd have someone there to bounce things off. They already have a lot going on when it comes to events and a lot of the great initiatives that you're gonna, obviously that are kind of parked at the moment, but I know are raring to go. So for people to kind of get in touch with you, how's the best?
Well, I would say that one of our initiatives that was before COVID was to start to communicate better what the BIA's unique points of difference are. So that sort of got put on the back burner while we got through the summer, and now it's back on the front burner. So that's a recruitment package and just our blowing out our members package a little bit. We have members now, probably the majority of them that aren't clear on the advantages of being downtown. So that's a piece that
And
we need to work
someone
on.
coming looking at us for, I know actually I've met with businesses that we've handed off to you, that were looking at places to settle in downtown Belleville, and they didn't realize that they'd have someone that could show them the ropes. So that's something that you do as well, is being able to potentially show them space, not as a real estate agent, but at least get them in touch with people who are involved with a lot of those spaces, and potentially get them situated in there. Is that correct?
Yeah, so that was a decision we made when I first came on board. I felt it was really important to have one central location where we could send people to that wanted to move to
Mhm.
the downtown district. And I had to push a little bit. The realtors were feeling a little threatened, and the board was feeling like it was the municipality's job. But I won, and now we have a page specifically, downtownbelleville.ca/properties, that we maintain with realtors and property owners. And I don't take them any further than, hey, here's the few properties that I think might be a good fit for you. And then I also have some in my sort of treasure chest
Right.
that aren't, advertised yet. So I have that really, I'm often the first point of contact, and then it goes off to the property owner or the realtor, and they can do what
Yeah,
they do best.
it's amazing still though, to be able to get that first uh point of contact, and then they can get going. So thanks, Mary Jo, I appreciate that. I wanted to kind of throw it over to Hannah, and just quickly chat about some of the things that the City of Quinte West does for businesses. I know you don't know, a lot of them, but you've done quite a bit of work. Your Love Your Local campaign that we were just a part of promoting, is something that's, something great that's, is not an expense to a business, as well as some of the other things that you do, but giving access to your communications team as to what's happening. I think, a lot of businesses don't know that they could send some of the stuff to the city and perhaps get, their event or even business initiative promoted with the city.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was also gonna to tag on to what you were saying, Trevor, earlier about coming in and taking advantage of the resources that the BOQ RMB has. I know that when I worked as the communications coordinator for Badawa, and still now in my role with the city, I often call up the team and say, hey, can I come in and run some ideas by you? We have some thoughts, and taking advantage of those resources that you have, whether it's your DBIA contacts or the Bay of Quinte Marketing Board or your contacts with the city. I know our tourism coordinator, Jen, is meeting with businesses all the time to talk about how to get their products to be tourism ready and really great for promotion. And then by staying in touch with those contacts that you have, a lot of opportunities for promotion come up. So we've had a number of different campaigns and promotions that have happened, particularly with COVID over the last 6 months, where we are getting the DBIA and getting the tourism coordinator and our economic development team to reach out to all of our contacts that we have through the city to find out if they're interested in being a part of local promotions and contests and things that are little to no cost to the businesses that are involved. So there are lots of opportunities just by staying in touch. And they're also, like Trevor was saying with the meetings, if you're, a contact who's looking for opportunities, we have so much going on, and we're always looking for opportunities to support and promote local business and make sure that Quinte West is a great place for businesses to come and stay. So there are just so many opportunities to be involved in things that are already happening with the community. Quinte West is also really unique in that we have 2 event coordinators. They organize events for the City of Quinte West, but they also provide a lot of support to third parties who are looking to host events within the community. Obviously, events are looking a little bit different now, just as Marijo was saying, like we're reevaluating what an event is. And certainly we are citing the success of your Prismatica event that happened over the summer as an example of how things can be done differently. But our event coordinators are a resource for the community to help with what organizing your event and how you might liaise with the city to have permits and where electricity is available, what works and what doesn't work. They're here as a resource as well, just like the tourism coordinator. And we also have a grants specialist here with the City of Quinte West, who sometimes has grants available or can help local businesses with their grant applications if it's something they're applying for. Similarly, we have some grants that are available through the city for businesses and organizations, particularly ones that have that economic development, that tourism component to them, to really help and support them with promotion. So there are so many resources available in this area, and we're really lucky to have the regional marketing board. Like I said, we have lots of staff here. Different municipalities have their individual DBIAs. So my big advice would be to take advantage of these resources that you have available, because we want to help. We want businesses to be successful. It's of benefit to everyone. Mm-hmm. So we've been big on promoting the staycation recently as well. So right now in Quinte West, we are doing a big Love Your Local campaign. People aren't going to be going on the big vacations that they've been going on in the past. So we're using it as an opportunity to really highlight the attractions, businesses, activities that are available here right now, because it's always amazes me how little people know about their own communities, and giving them those opportunities to go and get outside and experience things right now within the community. So yeah, there's lots of opportunities.
Yeah, and on the staycation side of things, and we'll get into that hopefully at the end of the seminar here. It's been amazing from our end to see how excited locals get to experience their own city. We give them $500 to have a night away at a hotel, which is nice. They not looking at projects like fixing the drywall or the laundry pile, and they get away, and then they get to spend some money at some local businesses. So to re-engage, and I think everybody on this panel would has been very big on building champions from within. So that's one of our big mandates at Bay of Quinte Regional Marketing Board. Is the first thing that we sort of looked at when I first came in was re-engaging with the locals, like Marijo did with her downtown businesses. And if you can't have the people who live there feel like they live in a very special place and can have access to a lot of those things, then there's fracture, there's friction, and there's fracture in a lot of the initiatives you do, and you don't have a lot of the uptake. So we want people staying with friends and family who send people out to these great businesses that they love to go to, and some of the things and attractions and activities that they love to do. And that's where it sort of starts to snowball. And I think you've seen the strength in a region is being built by the people who live here primarily. And so we're just there to highlight what already exists. A lot of times we don't create, other than maybe Marijo, create these wonderful events, but these businesses, they're here, they exist, and So that's been great to see. Sheryl or Brianna, did you want to add anything to the free part of this conversation, and being able to access resources that exist that maybe you didn't know existed, that are there for your taking, if you wanted to have them as a, and I know, Sheryl, you've taken advantage of a few things, obviously,
Oh,
with
yeah.
us.
They're out there. They're there for the taking, and I think that at a local level, people just have to, or especially businesses, have to educate themselves on what is out there. We're kind of sort of in the middle. We have Northumberland Tourism, we have Bay of Quinte Tourism, and so I've literally taken the reins and tried to, use those credentials that are there for our own business. Through you guys at Bay of Quinte Tourism, offering me the Ignite program was amazing. It was such an incredible experience, and there was so much information there for me to pull back into our own business. But being able to use you guys for rebranding, that was huge. When I contacted you guys to come in and sit with you and Jen and Courtney, you guys threw things at me that as a business I possibly didn't think about. And you kind of opened the way for me to expand on specific things to help our business grow. There is a lot of, you've got social media, you've got Instagram. Those are all free portals for people to take advantage of. And, anybody that's in the area that is looking for some really good, solid advice, I do recommend them contacting Bay of Quinte Tourism, because you guys have been an ongoing support for our business, and that we appreciate so much. Just including me in different things, like different ways to apply for grants, and just to sort of even step outside of my comfort zone, which is something I think it's really important for businesses to do. You can't put yourself into that bubble and think that everything is going to remain the same. You do have to reach out to other industry partners and make connections with them, because it's really, really important, especially as a tourism business. You can't go this alone, people. You really need to step up to the plate. You need to be responsible for your own success, and you need to reach out to people like Bay of Quinte Tourism, people like your BDIA, the business center. You have to create alliances with them in order to be successful and move forward. And even during COVID, you guys, Bay of Quinte Tourism, you guys set up a page for local businesses to be able to go to and promote your business and let them know what you're doing. And you did, what was it? It was an event that you guys created, Making It Work, I believe, Trevor. That you were kind enough to reach out, and we were able to promote ourselves in that way. So I think it's really important for businesses to be responsible for themselves. And sometimes people will look at our business and they say, oh my God, you guys do so much, how do you handle that? Well, anybody that's in business knows that every business has its valleys and peaks. And so we've just sort of created a business that hopefully doesn't dip for too long. And so we try to connect with the people that are going to be able to help us be progressive in the long run. We didn't come to Brighton just to be here for a few years. We came here, we invested in the community, and we make connections with our partners to be able to be progressive in that way. And I know, Trevor, you guys are just waiting for our Airbnb to be up and running, and we're honestly this close. And I know that when that happens, I will be reaching out to you guys again, because I believe that you'll come in, you'll help us promote that, you'll put us at a different level as far as tourism goes. And I can't stress enough that if you want to see your business go to the next level, it's really important to step out of your comfort zone, contact Trevor, contact Hannah, even talk to Marijo, because they're all a wealth of information that can help you put your business on a different level.
Yeah, thank you. Brianna, did you want to add to any of that, especially with, I know some of the programs that you offer, and we're not going to get too much into funding and maybe a little bit outside the scope, but I just wanted to sort of preface that by saying, anyone on this panel and any of these local resources that are shown here, we have access to a lot of grants and funding. Sheryl touched on this Ignite program. So for people who don't know, the RTO, it's called RTO 9. It's the sort of Eastern Ontario organization that runs that sort of looks after a bunch of destination marketing organizations like ourselves. So they go from basically Brighton all the way up to Cornwall, and they do grants. We do grants as well. Small Business Center. Brianna, you might talk about a little bit of the funding opportunity. So it's too big of a scope to talk about now, but come to us, and if we can't, and especially at Bay Of Quinte Regional Market Board, if we can't, if we don't know the answer, we obviously refer you to any of the other organizations who have access to tons of grants and funding, especially at this time period and during COVID. There are a lot of things that businesses may not know of that have come about that aren't marketed on some of the mainstream channels that are more industry facing, that we get to know about, that we could help you get access to or apply for. So, and Brianna, I know you have a great grant program on accessibility.
Mhm.
That I think a lot of businesses may not know about. So
Yes. So everyone here has already nailed everything. We all work together, and when we all work together, you give the best information that you can to your area, whether we're Belleville, Quinte West, Hastings County, Livingston, Addington, Brighton. When we all work together, we all make our communities fantastic. Like that's the best way, and that's another reason why I love my job. I've been, born and raised in this area, and this whole COVID and the staycation, and since I became in this role, it's all about giving back to the community, supporting your local businesses, and that's essentially why we put this panel together, because we want to let everyone know what's available for you. And then you talked about grants and how everything changes. Grants constantly change. It changes on a monthly basis. There is actually a link with the Government of Canada that you can go on and you can see, and you can constantly see what different types of resources that are available for which area you're located in, for what type of business you are. So if you have any questions, actually what I'll do is I'll send the link to everyone. So you can have that resource, and you can just type in all the information that's available and what you're looking for. And it will essentially plug all the information together, and it will send you specifically what you were looking for. I will put that down right now.
That's great. And I know we're kind of, we've been able to burn through almost an hour just talking about resources that are available, but I did want to just try and touch upon, kind of more specifically these strategic alliances. And if anybody wants to sort of highlight some strategic alliances that have really kind of fostered some really great partnerships that have either helped your organization, but also maybe that you've helped a business put together an alliance that has then, really, I have so many examples. I don't even know where to start, but I'd like to kind of hear from more of the panel and see, hear some of those examples as well. So Hannah, I know you can speak from, a bunch of different levels, being with Badawa, and we've watched you create some incredible partnerships with, I was lucky to be part of your Badawa Pub Night series and things like that. And any sort of alliances that you've put together or been a part of over the, your long, amazing career thus far, that you've seen as, a great example of the benefits of putting a partnership together, and where that leads, and how that sort of built your goal of reaching, growth in your business, or even, just putting those resources together for the future, so that you can, kind of cross-pollinate with that other business.
Yeah, for sure. So during my time in Badawa, we finally were able to secure our liquor license, which was really exciting. And we wanted to launch, our change in après-ski availability by partnering with local breweries to promote the fact that you could now, have a beer when you were finished, or a glass of wine when you finished or started your skiing. So we launched a series of, we call them après-ski pub nights, and tried to source as much local food as we could, and then partnered with local breweries, wineries, and distilleries to have this series of events with live music. And Trevor's band came to play on one of them, which was fantastic. But we found there was so much benefit from having these local organizations involved, because you really got the promotion of what was a new and exciting event. Local businesses now are also promoting your events and promoting the availability of your products at the events and at the ski hill. And eventually we partnered with Wildcard to have their beer on tap at the ski hill as well. So those like cross promotional opportunities for branding and for promotion are really the value of that is huge, because it also plays into the whole idea of supporting local, right? You keep your local ski hill alive, you keep your local brewery alive, you have events that support both of those things. And we had, during the course of that season, we had a number of breweries come in as well, along with some wineries as well. And we maxed out the capacity of the chalet. So, and again, it wasn't the promotion of the ski hill alone that made that possible. It was the combination of businesses coming together to create events that help them both. And what is, winter would be an off season for a brewery. So it also gives them an opportunity to feature new and exciting products at that time as well. So certainly the different business alliances that we created in the ski hill during a time that is very much an off season for most tourism businesses was really exciting.
Yeah, that was amazing. And what a great way to kind of add another dimension to the ski hill. And it was really incredible to see people driving in from Trenton and all of Quinte West to have a night out at the ski hill when they thought they were done when it was dark. It's like, well, we're done skiing. And it became a real place, a gathering place for people in Quinte West. So that's amazing. Marijo, I'd be remiss if I didn't say how thrilled we were when you put together your Downtown at Dusk, and being able to unite all the businesses sort of under one amazing event. I think everyone was really the ripple of that event has just carried over in everything else you've done. And, you feel sometimes as a business, I, especially, living in the big city for a while, even though you live in a condo, with all these people, you feel like you don't know anybody in there. And you're that incredible mechanism that's being able to introduce business to one another and create an event where they can showcase the best of what they do and how they do it in something like Downtown and Dusk. And I just wanted you to sort of touch quickly on what was the feeling like, seeing businesses come together and meet their neighbors and realize like, wow, we actually have a real threshold of amazing people and business owners in this incredible downtown core. And if we work together, kind of moving forward, look at all the things we could do. So, did you want to comment on that?
It's not as easy as it looks.
From the outside, it was seamless. So, but I know there's so much work to put that together. But I'm talking about more so, once you sort of were able to convince people of that.
Well, that's where the hard work is. I mean, an event, everybody on this call, including the participants, knows how difficult, how much a drain on the psyche events can be, successful or not. But one of the biggest challenges that I had coming into the BIA was this notion that, first of all, businesses thought that they were competing with each other, and then also competing with organizations outside of our catch basin. And so I have a term that I say: there's no room for competition. You have to be collaborative in this day and age, and especially in a city this small. You can't afford not to know who what your neighbor's doing, and not in a competitive way, but in a collaborative way. So I happen to be a very collaborative spirit. I don't have that, don't put me on your bocce ball team, because I'll definitely not do well. So I really have been working hard from the very beginning. Like, for an example, they have a food truck bylaw down here. And so that means anybody that comes in that has a food truck, they have to go first to our board, and then they have to go to the council, and then everything has to be approved. Well, when I came in, I was like, that makes absolutely no sense. You can't have an event without, if you want to bring the numbers in that we want to bring in, our restaurants alone cannot facilitate that. We need to develop relationships with some of the food truck organizations here and start that, to have that as part of. Same with retail vendors, trying to help the retailers understand the value of artisan markets. So we work very closely with Side Hustle, and this year, which is a artisan organization here in town, we were at the, we knew them from the conception, where they were like, I think we have 4 vendors this weekend. And now, like this last event that unfortunately we had to cancel, they had close to 30 vendors. So yeah, that's that collaboration piece. And open a flower shop in a town that has a flower shop. Those are sort of my marketing mantras. And that seems to have started to permeate throughout our, and then there's also members who are doing member to member events. So this weekend, Pure Honey and Gourmet Diem, who are neighbors, had a promotion going. We had restaurants that didn't even know the owner of the other restaurant. And now we've got an organization of restaurants that work together, visit each other, you know, have relationships. So that to me is the beginning of success.
That's amazing. And I think that you know, is a great example of what I think the spirit of this webinar is to, you know, access all of us and know, you know, don't be afraid to do that. Sheryl, I just wanted to, just quickly have you sort of talked about, you've been a great example of a specific business, and you can speak to that. I know we're kind of a little over time here. Some of the, you know, alliances that you put together,
Yeah.
you know, you're always looking to collaborate. And so out of that Ignite experiential tourism retreat that we were able to take people up to, which was up north, for businesses to find a way to maybe add that dimension to their business that they didn't have, or think about experiential tourism in a different way. You were able to meet some people from that retreat, but also on other sort of initiatives that we put together, like our Spark grants, helping businesses, give them a little bit of money to create new tourism business ideas or initiatives that they want to put forth. But you've done a lot of this even outside of that, and I just wanted to maybe you know, if you have an example off the top of your head of somebody you're cross-pollinating with that has, you know, turned out to be a really great partnership for you.
Yeah, I'd have to say, because of our gourmet market, we've had a lot of collaborations with food entrepreneurs. I was able to set up several meetings with the Agri-Food Venture Center. And in our gourmet market, we house only Canadian and local products. So I've been able to actually create an event called Meet the Maker, where I bring the local food entrepreneurs in. Nobody better to talk about their business or their product than the person that has created it. So we've been able to do that. And through the Spark, you know, even though we didn't qualify for that grant, the experience that I gained from just doing the process with Bay of Quinte Tourism was huge for me. It probably gave me a little bit more insight as to what the process is. You know, we were able to apply for the digital Main Street, which came through Quinte West, and working with Lisa Kuipers, and that propelled us, because we did receive that grant, and it allowed us to focus a little bit more on the tourism aspect of things. We were able to put together like a brand new POS system, and we're now working with the local food entrepreneurs to do professional videos. That we're starting a YouTube channel, and that's going to really focus a lot on the tourism end of things for our business. Excuse me, I'm a little hoarse here. And the rebranding that Bay of Quinte Tourism was able to help us with. The other thing locally that I started 7 years ago when we moved into Brighton is called Art on Main, and that's an event that houses all of the Main Street of Brighton, and it allows the businesses an opportunity to sponsor an artist, because this event promotes visual, performing, and culinary arts. And so there's been a lot of collaboration with locals in regards to make that happen. Unfortunately, we did have to cancel our event for this year. But as far as us collaborating with other artisans for our business, to be able to kind of keep us moving forward, we've been fortunate in making that happen. We are hoping to work with Tyendinaga, and this was because of the Ignite. I was in touch with Renee Brandt. Unfortunately, the Tyendinaga is not really moving forward right now with a lot of different things, but I am staying in touch with David Miracle and Renee Brandt so that when they do decide to sort of open things up a little bit, that we'll be able to get together and collaborate again on experiential tourism for our Airbnb when that happens. So yeah, it's really, really important. I think that the days of just having a retail store are kind of by the wayside. I think COVID has really, you know, it has really made people open up their eyes and understand that you can't just have a retail. You have to be able to collaborate with people like Marijo and Hannah and with the Bay of Quinte Tourism and the small business. I think it's important to keep those collaborations really close to your heart and work diligently with them to be able to promote your community and put it on a different level. That's been sort of an ongoing bit of a battle in Brighton. I won't lie, it's been difficult, but I think it's really important to work closely with your municipality. Like I'm working closely with the municipal councillor Mark Bateman and Doug LeBlanc to try to sort of put Brighton in a different light. And that's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's going to take a lot of collaborations with a lot of different people to make that happen. So, I think here at this end, we're just going to we're going to persevere, and we're going to put one foot in front of the other, and not let specific things sort of put us on the back burner. I think it's important to just try to stay up front as much as possible. And working with Trevor and everybody else on the panel, I think that that's really important. And businesses need to know that you guys are there. Reach out. Like it's just a phone call away. They're not going to bite you. They're there to help. That's what they're there for. And make collaborations. Like I would love nothing more than to collaborate with a winery or bring in a brewery. And we have done that in the past. We've worked with Church Key and we've worked with a couple wineries out of the county. But I think that these types of things that Mary Jo is doing in downtown Belleville, we need to see these type of collaborations happening in Brighton. And I think, Mary Jo, you hit it on the head. There shouldn't be competition. We're all here, we're all in the same boat, and we have to be able to work together. And I would like to see more of those collaborations happen in Brighton. Trevor, who knows, maybe people will reach out to you after seeing this discussion and understand that you guys are there to help, and the same with the Small Business Center. So,
well, and that's one of the reasons we want to kind of put this together is just sort of now we have visual proof and a webinar that people can access. The Small Business Center is going to be keeping these webinars as they are going to be compiling other ones that we'll produce in the future, so businesses can go back and access those. But thank you, Sheryl. I know we're over time, so we're probably not going to get to a whole lot. But I just, as an ending note, if you all have just a couple more minutes, I just wanted to talk about the Staycation Trail and what we've been doing to help businesses, pivot or do something to help them, be sustainable in this time. I know there's been some great ideas and initiatives put forth to help local businesses, and a lot of them, obviously they've had to deal with, and we're dealing with that with our next webinar from an e-commerce perspective, how important e-commerce has. Mary Jo's done an incredible job with her, her downtown marketplace, online marketplace. But I wanted to just throw it out to maybe everyone to just add one thing maybe that they've done with their organization that they felt, had some really great legs and really helped during this time as we pivot from COVID, maybe to a post-COVID scenario. But a lot of things aren't going away after COVID. And I think one of the main things that we've learned are how people access businesses, whether it be with takeout or shopping online. advanced ticketing, things like that. So maybe Marijo, could I just get your last sort of thoughts on some of the things you've done? Obviously, you closed down, you're able to get downtown, sort of reworked so it was a bit more pedestrian friendly, which was a huge help, and as well as some of the other things you might have done this summer and that may end up being, kind of the new paradigm of what we're looking at and how businesses operate. Any insight you wanted to give to any businesses watching?
Yeah, I'll make it quick. Some of the things that you listed for sure, like the hard examples, advanced ticketing, streamlining, delivery of product services, menus, pedestrian flow, etc. But really when I read that question, it came down to me, what's the foundational, what's the common thread through all of that? And it's user experience. In the technical world, it's called UX. In the brick and mortar world, it's probably just called user experience. You constantly have to put yourself in the shoes of someone who's looking for something to do, and why would they come to you? So that would be my, the user experience has to be thought of before anything else. And then fighting the perception. Every one of us live in sort of these silos, as they're commonly called. Fighting the perception of we can live in that silo and not realize that there's a much bigger picture that user is perceiving. So constantly pulling back and saying, okay, so in our case, our users don't see the BIA boundaries. Oops, you just stepped over the boundary. You're no longer in the BIA. They're looking for a shopping, dining, entertaining experience. So how do we deliver that?
Excellent. Hannah, did you have any thoughts?
We're just trying to provide as much as I can information on activities that are available in Quinte West, things that you can do as a part of a staycation, and creating that knowledge that people have of all of the things that are available, free and paid. That way, it gives everyone an opportunity to go out and take advantage of things that you can do right now in Quinte West without leaving or feeling like you're exposing yourself or sacrificing safety, and really creating those opportunities, through knowledge, through the education on what's available.
That's great. Sheryl, in your sort of experience and what things have worked, just quickly, what things have worked as sort of you've adjusted to people sort of more of a local focus when you're sort of marketing yourself and doing things?
Yeah, we've been trying really hard to focus more on local. The event that we just had this past weekend, I was actually really surprised because we were doing draws and giveaways, and I had everybody fill out a ballot as to where they were from. And I was really, really surprised at the amount of people that came in from out of town. We had people in from London, Ontario. We had people in from Marmora. There was people in from Kitchener. And, I know that when we promote on social media, we do like a wide demographic for that. But as much as we're trying to, keep everything at a local level, I think that that's still important to reach out, because the whole point of our business is tourism. Without it, we can't just focus on the local academics. We have to be able to reach out and pull other people in, because I think COVID has really left people numb a little bit. They're not quite sure, is it safe to go here? Is it safe to go there? As much as we're trying to do the whole online and e-commerce, I think it's still really important to let people know that we're a safe haven. We're following strict guidelines. We're doing everything in our power at our end to make the experience at our location. We want people to know that it's safe. Yeah, it's just, this whole COVID thing is really I think it's just flipped everything upside down. And where you thought you were a year ago is not where you are today. The whole industry has flipped and everything has changed, and you either get on board and run with that, or unfortunately you're going to get left behind. And as much as it's important to focus on local, I still think it's very, very important to focus on the tourism end of things. Tourists can be even just somebody coming in from Trenton. I know that they're local, but I still look at that as being, you know, outside of our little scope of Brighton itself. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's important to just, you know, put your best foot forward and do what you can do at your location, to want people to want to take that drive to Brighton or to Trenton or to Belleville.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you just do what you can do, I guess.
That's great. Yeah, well, you've been doing a terrific job. But I just want to remind you as we close up, and I'll sort of give the last word to Brianna, and she can sort of wrap things up. But you know, I think the thing to think about for the staycation and for, you know, while we're in these times, is that all of our organizations are really working hard to keep up to date as to what things are available, what things are working. We're able to see other businesses and share best practices. And so it's not about competition. We want those best practices to be shared, and for other businesses to take advantage of what other businesses have found to work, and how they're staying afloat, and how they're even potentially growing their business at a time like this. So Brianna, I'm gonna hand it over to you, but I want to thank Marijo from as the executive director. Messed that up. I work with her a million times a month, and at the BDIA. Hannah Brown at the community as the community engagement officer for Quinte West. Sheryl Delorme for lifestyle or special effects lifestyle boutique. Get out and see her in Brighton. Amazing little boutique, and amazing champion for tourism as well. Sheryl, thank you. And Brianna, it's off to you. Thanks for having us all.
Thank you guys, everyone. Thank you again for being a panel for today. We've put this all together. We've been planning for a few months, and it's awesome to see everyone coming together and essentially participating and essentially preaching what we talk about is the collaboration, right? This is the collaboration. We're here to help support our community. So I just want to say thank you. I also just want to remind everyone, I know Trevor mentioned it, but we do have a webinar this week again. It is e-commerce. So if you have any questions about it, I will be adding it into our follow-up email. I will have the recorded link for this webinar. So if you missed something, or you had to run out, you wanted to know a little bit more information, or you wanted to share it with any other businesses that you know of, you're more than welcome to do so. I will also add my link to it. So if any of the other panelists here, if you would like to add anything, you are more than welcome to do so. Just send me your email, send in an email, and I will add that in when I send it off to all the participants here. Also, I think that's all. Thank you everyone for attending. Hope you have a great Monday. Take care.
Thank you so much. Cheers.